How Airplanes Were Used in World War II by Ethan and John. World War II and airplanes. During World War II, airplanes were used for fast transport, effective surprise attacks and bombings, and ground supply delivery.
The airplane in World War II. Aircraft production skyrocketed during World War II, with 279,000 airplanes made in the United States during the time. Airplanes were used for transportation, bombing, recon, or other attacks on the enemy. Many major battles in World War II would end using an aircraft, and airplanes became primarily used as fighting machines. Many pilots had very little training and often did not fly a plane that they were familiar with. 43,000 planes were lost overseas, 14,000 planes lost in the continental USA, and 23,000 in combat. It would cost $204,370 to make a B-17 bomber in World War II.
Airplanes in World War II and careers. No war was more industrialized than World War II. Legislation in 1939 authorized the Army Air Corps to develop and produce 6,000 new planes, increased personnel to 3,200 officers, and 45,000 enlisted. In 1939, total aircraft production for the U.S. military was less than 3,000 planes. America would have produced 300,000 planes by the end of 1943, and at the end of the war, aerospace production was at peak workforce of 2,102,000 people. The airplane and devastation. The Second World War brought more human lives to an end than any other conflict in the history of mankind. However you look at it, the numbers are horrifying, with 20 million Russians killed on the Eastern Front, 11 million Chinese killed in the Pacific War, and 12 million in the Nazi death camps. This devastation was brought to an end with the Allied victory in Europe and the Japanese surrender in the Pacific, after the detonation of the 2 nuclear weapons USA sent over Japanese cities. Firebombing in Dresden. There was much war strategy surrounding the bombing of Dresden, implicit and explicit. Allies were to take advantage of the Soviet offensive westwards from the Vistula and add to the chaos in Germany by stopping the flow of refugees fleeing in the Soviet attack. At the time, Western allies wished to demonstrate their strength to the Soviets at the Yalta Conference. They gave them the support of their heavy bombers, and at the Yalta, the Soviets specifically requested help in this way. The demonstration of strength to the Soviets would also eliminate Germany's communications center to its eastern front.
In 1945, Dresden was crammed full of refugees fleeing west, away from the Red Army, moving east from Russia. Firebomb attacks created confusion in the evacuation from the east and hindered the movements of troops from the west, and the chaos was thought to prevent or delay the German military. On February 13th, Dresden was bombed in 2 waves, each wave 3 hours apart. The weak German air defenses only shot down 6 bombers. The first wave consisted of high explosives, which exposed the wooden frames of buildings, and the second wave had incendiary rounds that would ignite everything around it.